Hello, and welcome to another episode of Meandering, a series in which I wander around maps, basically reviewing them because a friend of mine asked me to. If you are not that friend of mine and you find this video, I hope you enjoy it. Today we're looking at Akiba, starting on the T side. It's a map that is somewhat work in progress, so it has some depth textures, but overall, the general theming is on point. You can tell, what they're trying to go for. I can't tell what is simpler on this because there's an upper and a lower area. So let's just go A through the first little staircase that we can take. So we come out here, keep going, open area. You cannot jump off the map to your death, that's a little disappointing. This is a little thing I can do. Okay, so you could cross and then get to this and peek from the alternative angle into this area, which I'm assuming is somewhat close to the contact point. The site itself is here. This vaguely reminds me of, what was it called? I believe Studio, where the B site was set on a green screen area. I might be losing my mind, but this material is very weird for the steps. It sounds like snow or ice that's being crunched, which shouldn't be there. Got a bunch of props, it looks like. This just makes sense. It's kind of a similar theme to Studio, at least in this area, of being a a place for recording stuff. So we come to this little outside area. This is our A main, it appears. There's also this route which leads back in towards not mid. I spawned here, right? So I could go left to A, or the right is what I showed originally, or you could go left through here, up this staircase, and I'm assuming that going on this way leads to B in some manner. Well, we'll look at that later. But if I go into this area, I can head into this little shop with what I'm assuming is placeholder textures for what will eventually be like magazines or like manga, something like that. They can come out here. This is the other way into A. So we have two routes through this like prop room, this balcony outside thing. Very interesting. And this doesn't lead to anything. I was wondering if there's wall bank potential through something like this. We have a bunch of windows that can be popped out. I'm gonna say what I say every time. We can learn from Nuke. It is annoying to have to pop windows that you're gonna pop every time to throw utility. Why not just have them be open, or at least some of them be open? It'd be nice to just easily do it with utility without having to, announce my presence every damn round and waste time with every window. Because you're gonna want them open, of course, to start throwing utility. I haven't really talked about the site much. I was just focused on the two paths because they were not the most intuitive at first glance. But I come out here at, normal head level, as well as theoretically someone could be standing on the stage for like an off angle with an op. They have this as like cover from the other entrance, so it's actually viable. I scale up, I fight around this. This is the central piece of cover that really exists on site. Other than that, there's not really much. I guess kind of around this hut thing. That's the best way in my mind to describe it. So you'd fight around this. You can also stand on this and peek over headly, over the speakers. So you'd come out from one of these sides, and is this accessible? This looks jumpable, but it is clipped, so. But you can boost here and go onto the site, or at least throw utility in this area, which makes sense because it's kind of like a staging area into here, and there's windows here that you can't do anything with. But yeah, from here is where I'd want to throw utility, or maybe think about getting a teammate to boost me for an angle. No, it looks so jumpable and doable to like do stuff. Oh, the reason I couldn't jump is because he wasn't. He has to stay crouched. I get an angle. It looks like I can make it on there, but I can't because it's all clipped. Let me look at site from the CT perspective real quick. Let me just make sure that this is a spawn. Underneath. Yeah. Oh, are these orange dots every single potential CT spawn? That would make sense. B for books and A for Annie Expo. This is so CT area over here, and then to the right we can fight in this area that T's will need to go into to make it into the alternative A route, and we have a lot of options for how we want to peek this. We could post behind this, right, an op or something. Even choose to hold like the tightest op angle ever if we are fine with them getting in here and we just want to hold. Multiple off angles like this. Can jump peek around as well. Can not get an angle through that gap because it's not there. We can peek pretty wide. Very easy for a T to throw like a good flash though, to try and blind any CT in this like general area. There are lots of options for both teams. Can even like consider scaling up and maybe getting here and jumping up. There's a lot of potential to do stuff with movement. A lot of it is quick though, which is a smidge frustrating. More windows that you have to individually open to throw utility on the site, just to have them open or consolidate them into one big window is too much. I want to open this. This door looks so perfect to lead into site, but it doesn't. It instead leads to nothing from a realism perspective. It is a closet, I guess, but there's a window here into nothing. I won't worry too much about it. But yeah, there's a lot of avenues to throw utility into the site. It's just that you gotta announce your presence first. Very interesting site. It feels like there's not a lot of cover on site, but that isn't. It's enough cover to be played around. It just feels sort of empty. I feel like there should be something here. I don't know why. Play around. That might be a bit much, having this be a headshot angle. But it just feels like something is meant to be here. It's missing. I don't know. That's just how it feels to me. Maybe you make this a bit taller, right? And then you have the what's the word I'm looking for here? You have a place for like T's to play full body cover post plant, right? And the CT, it doesn't. T's can get the deep angle originally. I guess this is double-sided because the CT can't hop as deep as back here. This is something that's getting smoked every round by a competent team. Is, you know, you can wing a smoke like that, and boom, that's not an angle anymore to hold a op if I were to throw that properly. So this isn't like a real op angle you'd want to play. This is more of a real one. You might get flashed off the angle, but it's fine. Also, this is misaligned, so you could jump on it, and I think that's fun potential movement. Yeah, you can't like headshot peek over it, but you could, you know, get all the way on top of bunnies. This isn't boostable. This is just a dumb idea. You don't need to do this, of course. I say this like every time I cover. I just think it might make this like more interesting. This area feels like I have a good way to isolate angles using these two pieces of cover. Even though it feels like an empty area, I have avenues to isolate my angles, which is good. That's A site, and I think all the T paths to it. Let's take a better look at the CT perspective real quick, because right, you have this way to hold, you know, the actual site, or you can go into the magazine area. Is this like the mid of this map? That's kind of the feel I'm getting from it. This is how you would hold the A short route. You can't jump down here. So let's quickly look at T to B. So I'm a T and I want to go to B, so I'm assuming I'm going to go straight, and you can't go through here at all. This is just like empty space that is potential save area and you can't do anything with, except maybe through utility. Like the nastiest flash of all time that bounces off this wall and makes it into the middle space. Now that would go hard. Imagine getting full blinded here. Oh yeah. I like when you can do stuff like that. It's so stupid, but it's just funny. So anyways, head left instead of going up the staircase, you know, what I'm assuming is kind of like mid. You head through this other kind of shop filled with placeholder texture into this little vending machine room, into clothing shop, into the site, which is another a bookstore, and we got full body cover. Yeah, this is heat. Just blend right in. I like how they painted over everything, so that way it doesn't look like a player, so people don't get confused. That's hilarious that they have to do that. That's funny. But looking at this area, we have a window right here, another way in that I'm going to want to do pretty often, I feel like, because just coming a funnel through this is like a deep angle that someone's going to probably be posted on. So having like this little alternative route. See, this is a moment where the glass doesn't feel bad, right? Because you're announcing your presence when you do it. I also like how there's a ramp here to make this a smooth transition. That's nice. Little stuff to play around. this area. Kind of ducked around this information kiosk. Yeah, it says information on it. I was assuming ball bangs through here are a thing. And it seems like a big thing on the side. These windows, you gotta break another utility. See, this is good because it's like a path. It's sort of like the vent on cash. You're announcing your presence when you go through it. There's like a reason for it, right? Or like this, on the other hand, you're just throwing utility, and you're gonna do that like every round anyways, and you're already announcing your presence when the utility's thrown. So I don't see why we gotta like have people spend time shooting it out. It just feels awkward taking my pistol out and and then I get to actually make the utilities. Minor gripe of mine. I guess not minor because I mention it every damn time I can. This is the B site, pretty small. Appears to be a side route over here that can be utilized like an elevator shaft. Got a ladder up here, which leads back into a place that I've never seen. Oh wait, I lied? Okay, yeah, so this is mid. This little upper area is in fact the mid of this map if we were to describe it in a four square. You go through this connector and this is your mid to A, which kinda... Alright. And then if your mid to B is, if you were to scale up more, and then you take a right. Interesting. And this can let you, this is CT, so you're going basically into CT to do a mid to B take. I don't know why, but I feel like there should be some other avenue to do that, like a bit earlier than going all the way in here. Because I can take A a lot quicker, right, going this way. I feel like, I don't know, like a short staircase here, like an outside access stairway would not be terrible. That goes down here and then turns into this. I feel like this could be fun. Just with the structure of the map, I swear this was something that existed at one point and then was playtested. It's probably bad. That's like the only excuse I can think of. Because it seems so like obvious to me as something you'd want to do. I didn't really pay attention to this earlier, but this is an alternative way to peek instead of just coming up the staircase. I know this like main off angle. You could do this easy to movement to peek from here instead and have a bit more cover. It's interesting. But yeah, mid to B doesn't really seem. I'm calling this upper area mid because that's what it basically is, but it's not the middle of the map. You know what I mean. So you can go through here, and then you can go through CT, or you can take a right and go through CTA as well. So you're like literally running past a site. So you were to like make this, and then hit the young elevator drop to make it to B site. It feels very. It doesn't feel. It's not bad. It just feels like a mid to B that is hard to utilize. And I think doing this here wouldn't even be bad. Because it's not like another route directly onto site. You're still going to end up coming to the same main choke point, but it just gives an alternative angle and gives T's a faster route to B if they want to just really quickly hit that from mid. And I think that would lead to a more interesting map. These grates are potentially problematic due to the ability to boost and do stuff, and I don't like fighting around, you know, stuff like that. Let me get this guy placed. Yeah. See, this is like not a real angle. Speaking of not a real angle, you can't actually peek through these windows, which is good. You can sort of get a view, but not a proper one. And again, I have to say that is good. This is not clipped, which is cool. That there's a thing that looks like you can jump on that you can actually jump on. Seems like an interesting off angle to maybe play. And if you're like not asset movement, you could probably air strafe around to this. That's cool. I wish this was like a larger piece of cover that felt real. Let me get a quick surface prop on this. What is this? Entity model DE. Okay, this is workshop specific. This is not. Damn. I fully assumed this was a normal model in the game because I swear I've seen this cutout before, but I guess the cutout doesn't have like a stand and whatnot. That's crazy. Stand on this door. That's fine. I feel like I've been rambling about nothing for a while. This B site, let's just think about it, like actually, instead of rambling. I go here as a T, and I wallbang hella shit, and push the site, and my close right is not bad. I can get over here and do a quick jump peek, or I could boost peek as well, if I get this guy to crouch. And then, oh, okay, you can actually properly boost onto this, but you can't stand here. Make up your damn mind. Can we get some consistency going on? We had that for a bit, where it was like, okay, these wooden bookshelves, sure, you can do it, but not these big gray ones, right? I think that this is just, what is this, CS2? Fucking making shit look like you can get on, but you can't. Please just either make this another wooden thing, or make all of this accessible, because it looks like it should be. Yeah. Is this a thing? No. But you could bouncy toady through here. Okay. I was gonna say, is there like a way to get like a skinny angle, but no. That would be funny though. It's probably for the better that it doesn't exist. But you come on a site that's very small. You have some potential ninja angles like this, right? Like no one's actually gonna play here. You can crouch and crouch. Is he? Wait. Let me put him here. Can he crouch and crouch? Yes. So if he's like facing the wall, like I can barely see him, but if he's facing the wall, I probably can't. So I'm looking here real quick, and there's a chance I don't notice him, and then I start actually looking at sight, and then, I mean, if I get close, obviously I see him because angle advantage, but it's just a funny potential, and I think it is interesting. Same here. That's like a fake angle. Real angle involves playing around this as a piece of cover, or playing around like this area, or playing all the way back on this door. Speaking of this door, from the CT perspective, I need to quickly comprehend, how do I get to the damn site? Either these escalators that I did not notice at all. What am I? This is the CT area, right? So, I just posted around here. Alright. Or they take the elevator shaft and just drop down. Though the elevator shaft does seem like a longer timing, perhaps. Like by a significant margin. So this really is just for the mid to be. But it feels so ass for it. Speaking of feeling like ass, this has nothing to do with feeling like ass, but you can maybe get a stupid angle onto, like, a guy stands here, right? And then you are here, and then you jump peek, and no, that's not real. But imagine though, yeah, I can see his head barely. That's funny. Not real, but funny. I don't know why, but I feel like I should be able to jump onto this. Obviously, it's taller than me, or the same height as me, so I shouldn't, but it's literally the same player model, right? But it feels like I should be able to jump on it. I don't know why. Being able to do all these jump peaks around this is interesting. I got clipped onto something for a minute, for like a second. I was able to, like, not edge bug, that's not the right word, but I was able to hang on something. And now I'm desperately trying to hang again. I should probably stop and actually look at the map. But that's the thing you can do, I guess, is hang on something. You can boost onto the side areas like this, but you can't actually stand on. Can we get some consistent clipping, please? Just make it more obvious that you're not meant to be there. You could have signs hanging above this, like how they in shops, right? In bookstores, they'll have like, you know, signs for different shelves to like label them as like, hey, this is science fiction, hey, this is sports, stuff like that. You do that, like have a sign hanging, it becomes visually clear that you aren't meant to boost up there. That'd be cool. Anyways, I've rambled on so much about this map without saying anything about it. Oh, don't forget to shoot the people who can. Okay, siege joke. The friend I make this for is terrible at siege. I should remind them that this is what a camera looks like, and you can only shoot when you're playing the game, when you're on attack. Anyways, I said all there is and then some about this map. I feel like I haven't been talking for that long, surprisingly, considering how much I have said nothing of substance. But this is the map. I kind of don't want to look at timings because I'm lazy. But I will approximate them. You come here. 32. That box shouldn't be there, but I don't care. I peak at 24, so that's like 8 seconds. Probably like 7.5 without that box I had to go around. T-side, T-side, T-side. Started at 14. Alright, so I peaked this at 8. So like, CT's get here just before. If I don't have this, the box I added, I'm just gonna hit restart game so we don't have to worry about that box. And then I'm gonna run mid. Starting at 56. See, the real reason I didn't want to do timings was because you'd see I'm poor. And I don't have an eye. And I'm peeking into this angle at 48. So, once again, an 8-second timing very fast. 39. I'm posted. I can scale all the way up to here before I get peeked from here. And this also leads me to believe that I have time to swing wide and maybe hold this guy jumping up. Like, barely. Or at the very least, I could throw a flash high from back here, like this, and then I'd be able to swing with it as a pop like this now. Alright, that is the timings on mid. Let's look at the timings on B, and I think then that's it.
Go, go, go.
I forgot how to use my legs. We're gonna do that again.
Stay frosty.
14 flat. At 10 seconds, I'm standing around this pillar, so I could like sit like here, maybe. D side, let's see how long it takes.
Go, go, go.
41. I could break through that glass to go faster. That's just fucking shit. You're doing this every round. It's a literal T spot. Just have it be broken already. You could have a little world building, have there be shattered glass. Oh, it's like a decrepit area. I don't. Fuck. I'm gonna do that again, but this time I'm gonna fucking take the real route because the map creator lied to me. Made me think that it's always like the best way. But started at 19. Okay, so this CT is able to safely get behind this, and I'm swinging around here, and I'll like kind of peek like that, or I peek like this, and just why do we have this? I can from back here, from literally back here. I'm coming in. If I go shoot this, and then I'm coming this way, I'm shooting this as well, like from all the way back here. Why are you forcing us to do? Why? Just make it open. There's no need to do this fucking window bullshit every damn round. I'm annoyed. I looked at everything on Akiba. I've said all there is to say. I've talked about how I would make the map worse. I mean, add more cover to sites that I think would be good, but it's definitely for the worse. Such as, for example, a little full body cover in this area that, you know, happens to also have a bit of boost potential associated with it, movement variety. Right? That's one thing I mentioned. Except this area feels empty, but it doesn't actually need anything. This pillar feels awkward. I guess it's there for like structural integrity, right? Like in a real sense, but I wish this pillar was like big. This feels so like fake. I don't know how to phrase it properly. That's just how I think about that. Would it be bad for on top of the stage to have some sort of prop? Like, and I mean like like one of these props, like an actual prop, not a, you know. This whole area is very interesting. I like the theming of this map. I think it does a good job getting it across. I'm surprised by the amount of custom textures that I thought were just in the game, because I swear I've seen these cutouts like everywhere in other things, and so I assumed it was normal. Is this a GSG9 guy? That's crazy. Classic meandering, talking about stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah, this cover, cool. Maybe consider doing away with all these windows. Just all up every damn round. Why do I gotta go through the goddamn torture every single damn second? Could we maybe think about adding a new route into B from mid? Like, hey, I made it all the way up to here. We go here, little staircase down. You can, you know, the exact structure of it can be adjusted, but basically somewhere in this general area vicinity, I think I should have a way to come out of here. And I don't think it would be bad. I'm thinking of it from an angle perspective, and I come peek. Like this is totally fine. Like I could deal with this. Make it more visually clear what you can and can't boost onto, because it is very annoying. And the same prop has its, well, not prop, I guess it's made out of brushes, but you know what I mean. The same piece of cover, its rules broken. Like all these gray ones you can't do, but hey, this one you can. Like come on. Let's get some consistency out here, fellas. And east side feels cramped, but it's not like actually bad. It just feels cramped. I do think that you could consider extending this a bit more to the right, but that would make the structure of the map feel weird. So that's like the reasoning against it, like from an actual architecture perspective. The CT area is chill. I wish that I could stand a bit more to the right though, just a little bit more, not a lot. You could definitely get me standing a bit deeper in. I would like to be able to stand like this and take fights. LSD, cool. Yeah. These jump peaks are fine. Get rid of this. It's just annoying. It just obfuscates when you jump peak, and if you were to hypothetically boost, it doesn't actually come into play unless someone's like peeking in a very specific manner. But why even have that be a thing? It's just annoying. Another thing is, can we like fill this in? Like I get that it's not like real cover, right? But what's wrong with it being real cover? Like this isn't even like actually real cover, but this sort of pseudo filled in makes this feel better, in my humble opinion, my wrong opinion. I'm so good. Look at this. Look at this. I'm actually serious. Oh yeah, this being like a more solid piece of actual cover would be cool. And this information desk I think is cool, but I kind of want this to be a large, solid back wall so that there's something to play on. I'm fine with this. Like from a visual perspective, you want it to be like, you know, shorter than the player. And I think that's fine from the front area, but I think the back being a wall, like actually fully raised up, maybe a slight gap here for a jump peak or utility, right? I think it's fine. It'd still be like wall bangable, but now you have like full body cover. If I were to come through this way, right, I have something to kind of play on as I'm scaling up, and I think that leads to a better map. If, you know, CTs get aggressive, they still have the option to get aggressive, but they have something to play on. And I think the same thing kind of applies to the CT perspective. I get aggressive and I feel like I don't have anything to play on. Just adding some, like, making this an actual piece of cover, so that way if I run and I cross to the right, and this is like real, this feels like something I can play on before, you know, there's all these feed angles that I'm one-waying myself. And then making it like a real piece of cover that I could choose to get aggressive on and do something would be cool. I think I said all there is to say and then some about this map. I mentioned that there's wall bangs, but I kind of glossed over it. World's toughest wood. Blocks 99.9% of bullets. Now I have to know, is this real? Is this a way to cleverly let players know that you can't wallbang this, even though it usually looks like you can on first glance? We're going to do show impacts, SV underscore show impacts 1. If this is a clever way to show that you can't wallbang this, look, that's cool, right? But come on, fellas, why we gotta make it out of wood? We just begging to lie to people right now. Just make it like sheet metal, corrugated metal, anything. You could, hell, even plaster, like just something, anything else. Like, it looks so like visually like bangable, bro. Come on. I get you got the sign, and that helps clue players in, but come on, bro. First time I'm playing this map, I'm not reading the damn sign. I just see, oh, this is the site. There's wood I can wallbang. Come on. I like how you can wallbang like this little nook. Wallbang and chunk of stuff through these areas, right? That have like the little gap. But like, the main point of this I get is so that way you can't like, you know, do spam all the way back here. More from the CT perspective, being kind of but a spam across, right? This just seems like a more CT like spam stop thing, because otherwise you have the most fucking no chunk of spam going through here, across through this. Like this would be, oh my god, a nightmare to play against. I could just imagine going through here, and just catching guys. I get that. But just make it more visually clear on both sides. You could just have this be a sheet of metal, and then leave this as wood. And if you're really concerned about the spam into this area, like, we can make this metal too. Like there's options. We don't need to do this. This is just so like fake. He's making us think that we can, but we can't. Come on, you're better than that. Books Annie-Expo. What is so Annie-Expo about this? So-called plantable zone is something I didn't really look at, and I should real quick. Oh, can you plant on the speakers? We app home underscore C4. You can't. It like barely edges through. You can't plant on the speakers. That's for the better, but it's tough because I felt like that might be a plant. When it comes to planting on this site, I feel like this is like the safest plant, literally, and it's pretty open. This is the most open plant. The safest plant is the most open plant once again. Maybe stand a bit more to the right, but it's still pretty safe. Yeah, that's wild. Because you want to go more to the right to give more space here, but not too much that the speaker blocks diffusing. That's crazy. Let's look at the other side. Oh, you can plant a lot higher on this, meaning you can plant on top of these, which is funny. You wouldn't really want. There's not really much of a reason to, but it exists. Why is these triggers green? Am I crazy? I'm losing my mind. It doesn't really matter. You can plant here, so you're safe from this little elevator area that if you didn't go through mid, you wouldn't have control of. You can also plant here to be full safe from CT. This, I think, like, you know, you can get swung really easily. Your shoulder peeks out. And when it comes to planting open, this feels like it, as forward as possible. Like, Yeah, unless you're trying to play from like the mid thing, in which case I'd maybe consider planning around here for wall bangs as well. For this, maybe wall bang a guy defusing, maybe, who knows. I think that this is a map that I looked at and I think it's pretty cool. This was Akiba, I said all there is, and then some, and extras that were pointless. Oh, real quick, maybe it's something here. Just something to scale up on as I'm jumping out. Give me a bit of cover from this left side. I can still get peeked, right? But just give me a bit of cover, you know? I can still have someone like peek me. Just give me a bit of cover from this wide side. Alright, that's everything. I'm done for realsies. I hope you enjoyed if you are that friend of mine. And if you're not that friend of mine, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you watch a guy fucking meander around maps? Is that Hasselhoff? Oh yeah, it's made by Chief and Hasselhoff. That makes sense. Anyways, goodbye.